Christianity has taught our people to ignore this Bible, to look over the prophecies that are therein, all for the sake of what? Assimilating to this culture. Christianity teaches you that the Israelites are done away with. Christianity teaches you that everybody's going to be saved at the end.
Right.
Christianity teaches you that heaven is up there when it's really going to be lived out right here.
That's right.
At the same time as hell's going to be playing out right here for somebody else. Let me get that in the book of Luke. We out here to teach the real gospel.
That's
We're saying good news for everybody.
Right.
Let me get the real gospel real quick. 4 and 16.
14, 4, 16?
Luke 4 and 16.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, Salakia. And his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah.
One of my favorite prophets. Some of my favorite prophecies are in the book of Isaiah.
That's right.
Specifically the one where it talks about God choosing Jacob, choosing Israel, setting us in our own land and allowing us to rule justly over our oppressor. So he stood up for to read the book of Isaiah, one of my favorite prophets.
And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted.
To preach the good news to the poor and to heal the brokenhearted. Who's the brokenhearted? It's the black man, the Hispanic man, the Native American man.
That's right.
The one whose bones y'all walking around on to this very day. Right?
To preach deliverance to the captives.
Deliverance to the captives. We the minority here, but we the majority in the jails. How is this?
And recovering of the sight to the blind.
And the recovering of the sight to the blind. We the one that can't see our way out of this darkness. We the ones that can't see that we the prophets that the Bible speaks of. Right? We the ones that are going into this church, this mosque.
To set at liberty them that are bruised. To preach the acceptable year of the Lord.
And that's what we're here to do, is preach the acceptable year of the Lord. But what we seem to separate from the acceptable year of the Lord is that that day is a day of judgment.
That's right.
It's good news, right? But there's judgment, there's wrath for the Most High God that takes place on that day. Right? Let's hear about some of that gospel first. Let me get that in Ezekiel 20. Ezekiel 20 and 34 real quick.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 20 and verse 34. And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with the stretched out arm, and with fury poured out.
Remember when we got delivered out of the land of Egypt with fury poured out? What that fury looked like? It looked like plagues.
That's right.
Some of them plagues is about to come hit Babylon. Right here in the Americas, where you got it so good, where you living in this dream, this delusion. In the grand scheme of things, the Most High God has been building this place up so we can tear it down like he promised in Malachi.
That's right.
That's right. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
He gonna judge us face to face.
Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord Yahweh. And I will and I will cause you to pass under the rod.
Under affliction.
And I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
Into the bond of the covenant. We're going to see that new covenant, that covenant of peace with the nation of Israel, right? This is what we're looking forward to. But what we want to do is fixate on this portion of it where it's judgment. That fury that's going to be poured out. That fury that's going to be poured out right here in Babylon. Right here in Seattle. Lights is about to go out.
That's right.
Right? Everybody worried about a heat wave. Right here when we're reading about prophecies, I'm looking forward to a very particular heat wave. Let me get that article, right? Let me get that article, and I want you to hold that Isaiah 61 and 1.
The U.S. power grid isn't ready for climate change. In recent weeks, you've either had power problems or you've heard about them.
Power problems or you've heard about them in a heat wave. Usually this happens in a thunderstorm, right? A snowstorm. But a heat wave is causing power outages. We shouldn't be surprised at this, but we are, because we ain't reading this Bible, right? Right. We about to go into it through the Spirit.
In Portland, Oregon this week, the recorded official temperature reached 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Power cables for the city streetcars melted. Sagging overhead wires forced the light rail to shut down, and more than 6,000 people lost electricity. But it's far from the first time extreme weather has caused serious problems with the power grid in recent months. During the winter storm that hit Texas in February, nearly 5 million people lost power.
Showing you just how delicate the infrastructure that you worship over here is, right?
In June, California suggested that residents charge their electric vehicles during off-peak hours to save energy. And for the first time ever, after power outages hit several neighborhoods during this week's heat wave, New York City officials sent residents an emergency mobile alert urging them to conserve energy.
You don't know just how badly I am praying to the Most High that this is that heat wave.
That's right.
Right? This is that one heat wave, right? We're going to read about it. Revelation 16, Baba Kishah. I'm praying this is that heat wave. I'm on my knees. I hope this is the summer that Yahweh comes back. Right? To deliver his children out of the hand of our enemies.
That's
and out of all that hate them, right? Let me get that in Isaiah 61.
This book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 2. To proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our power.
See, when Yahweh stopped reading the book of Isaiah, he stopped at the acceptable year of Yahweh, right? But it's the day of vengeance of our God, right? We're going to get delivered out of here with a mighty hand and with fury poured out.
That's right.
Right? This is what's about to happen. Go ahead.
To comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give them beauty for ashes.
Ain't it funny that in the midst of the disasters and the catastrophes, we're going to be comforted, right? Isn't it fitting that the white man is going to get brought to the estate that we in? You go to Mexico, and some places right now, they ain't got no power. You go to Haiti, they ain't got no power.
Right.
You go to all these various nations where we scattered at, there ain't no power. You go to various barrios, various ghettos across the United States, and there ain't no power in the house because we got to choose which bill we gonna pay.
That's
so
right.
that we can have enough money to buy some goddamn top ramen, right?
That's right.
In them days, the white man's gonna fall so goddamn low, he ain't gonna know what hit him, but we know how to deal in them days, don't
That's
we?
right.
We know what it's like just to light some candles in them days, right?
Right.
Just to stay warm. Get together and get some body heat, right?
God.
We're gonna know to light candles in the bathroom and just go in the bathroom and save some heat. But this white man's gonna be panicking. He's going to be panicking while we comforted in them last days.
Right.
And it's all through the spirit and power of the Most High God. I'm looking forward to this blackout. But where do I get the knowledge to look forward to this blackout? To these plagues?
36.
Revelation 16.
The book of Revelation chapter 16. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth.
We waiting for the vials of wrath of Yahweh to what?
To pour out the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth.
Or to be poured out on the earth. Why? Because we gonna be comforted in them times. So we out here urging you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are the Israelites to come back to the Most High God, his law, statutes, and commandments, because the gospel says that during these times, you're gonna be comforted in that, you're gonna be delivered out of the destruction coming to this place.
That's right.
And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men, which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image.
Right now, everybody's trying to conform to the image of the beast, right? Right now, everybody's so afraid of COVID, they'll take a shot in their ass just to be safe from COVID. They're about to go door to door and check and see if people got COVID and try to coerce people into doing so. One day it's going to be that there's a mark that gets put on you, right? And it's going to cause boils to appear on your body.
That's right.
Right? This is one of the plagues that we're looking forward to as men of the Lord.
That's right. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea.
What was in it? Candy, cookies, Kool-Aid, a little Hennessy? What was it?
And it became as the blood of a dead man.
And the water became as the blood of a dead man. This process is called coagulation to anybody that knows a goddamn thing. This brother was just talking about how the water ain't going to be drinkable. Just showing you how the Most High God works. During this plague, the water ain't going to be drinkable because it's going to be curdled up. It's going to be dried up. All praises. We've been thirsty before. We know what it's like to have the water cut off. But in them days, guess what? When the water's cut off at our house, we know we just can't have no top ramen.
That's right.
Right? In them days, we just switch it up to something else. Maybe a Miracle Whip sandwich, because I ain't f***ing with mayonnaise in my house. I don't know about you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
And every living soul died in the sea.
Every living soul's gonna die in the sea. So this is talking about famine. Something else we've been showing y'all is coming. They got food shortages. They're not telling you guys why. They're blaming it all on COVID. But what we have seen is ever since the economy so-called restarted again, jobs. They're not able to produce jobs. They're not able to produce workers. So they're trying to produce robots, right? Because the white man's so entitled, he don't want to work in his own goddamn kingdom, right? He can't get to slavery, so guess what? Nobody's just showing up to work. That's what's going on right now. So there's food shortages, right? Farmlands are being drenched, drowned it out. We got this dryness hitting the earth, right? So certain crops ain't growing, certain cattle aren't able to eat.
And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood.
So the waters that are going to be left are going to become like blood in a lot of places.
And I heard the angel of the waters say, "Thou art righteous, O Lord."
Watch how the Most High God got a sense of humor. Why is it righteous that the waters become blood?
O Lord, which art and was and shall be, because thou hast judged thus. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets.
Double the cup, right?
And thou hast given them blood to drink.
So it's a funny thing to the Most High. He's going to give y'all blood to drink because you like to shed the blood of prophets. You like blood so goddamn much, I'm going to give it to you up to the neck. Another prophecy I'm looking for.
That's right.
Bring it out. Right. And they are worthy.
They are worthy of this damnation that's coming to them. And you bet your goddamn ass that I'm sitting around the house waiting for the day that the Most High God put things straight and put massa in his place.
Right.
So guess what? So then we could be massa now.
Right.
But there's certain things we gotta endure in order to get to them days. And this is what I'm here to warn you, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans about, so that you don't get caught up with this cracker man and that you can be comforted as well.
And I heard another out of the altar say, "Even so, Lord God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments."
True and righteous are the Most High God's judgment, which is why we need to come back to him, because again, we are devoid of this knowledge. We are devoid of this information.
That's right.
Scriptures say, "My people perish for what? Lack of knowledge," right?
That's right. And I heard another out of Slakia. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun.
Now, this is the one I'm looking forward to. This is the one we're talking about through the Spirit. Power outages, heat waves, right? This is why we're looking forward to these things. Because we have prophecies to tell us what it's going to look like on this God-forsaken place.
That's right.
Before the deliverance of the children of Israel. You blacks, Hispanics, and you Native Americans. And you other Israelites scattered abroad.
Oh, bring it out.
Slakia. And I heard another out of the altars. Slakia. And the fourth angel poured out the vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire.
To what?
To scorch men with fire.
To give men little tans.
Power was given unto him to scorch men with fire.
So power's coming into the sun. Now, this may be talking about a solar flare, right? I can give it that. Or we could be talking about this heat wave, right? But us being watchmen of the Most High God, we watch all the symptoms.
That's right.
We wonder, is this the one that's going to cause what Revelations, the 16th chapter just said?
Right.
Right, so we're watchful, and when these things happen, we're hoping.
That's right. And men were scorched with great heat.
Ain't old people dying across the United States right now because of this heat wave?
That's right.
Because they're not getting the proper temperature at night to rest. And this is why the power outages are happening. Because everybody is using an amount of power at nighttime that they wouldn't otherwise be using because they're trying to get cool.
Right.
We too cool as the children of Israel though.
God.
This is talking about a bunch of crackers being killed in these last days.
That's right.
We like the heat.
Right.
We thrive in the heat. It's called photosynthesis for us, but for you crackers, you just melt like vanilla ice cream.
God.
Right? Looking like Fat Thor. Just melting.
Right. Verse 9, and men were scorched with great heat.
So men are gonna be scorched with great heat. So I'm looking at this symptom and I'm thinking, damn, this could be it. Right? So I face the east and I pray. What's gonna happen next? How do I know that this might be the symptom that leads to the next chain of events in these prophecies?
And blaspheme the name of Yahweh.
It has to be global warming today, Yahweh. Hey, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Right. and blaspheme the name of Yahweh.
Blaspheme the name of Yahweh, so it has to be global warming. It can't be God, right?
Which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory.
So people ain't gonna repent. We got idiots like that walking down the street. They don't want to repent. They won't open up the Bible. Otherwise, he wouldn't say some dumb shit like that.
That's right.
So we won't repent. We hard-headed. We turn to massa and we look at science and we think it can't be God that's causing this heat wave. It has to be global warming. It has to be aliens or something stupid, right? We ignore the fact that the Most High has power over these elements. So what happens next, huh?
Verse 10, and the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast.
Upon the seat of the beast. So this is talking specifically about Babylon, right?
That's
this,
right.
This is where that hoe's sitting at.
And his kingdom was full of darkness.
And his kingdom was full of what?
And of darkness.
Because there's a power outage. Now, if this is how we got to look at it. We got to look at it in a scientific way, a way that we can explain. So if it's a solar flare, then that would dictate that maybe there's an EMP coming off of that solar flare, and therefore there's a blackout. Or it could just be a regular heat wave melting power lines down. But we got two ways to go. Either way, it makes this prophecy a possibility because we're seeing it happen in small quantities. I just pray the heat amps up. I just pray that heat amps up, whether it's a solar flare or not, right? And that power goes out. And we begin to see the waters turn to blood. And the waters dry up and the fish die in the sea. Because we know that the Most High God is going to comfort us.
Right. And his kingdom was full of darkness.
His kingdom's already full of darkness spiritually, right? Mentally. But it's going to be literal darkness that fills this wicked-ass place, Babylon.
And they nod their tongues for pain.
And they nod their tongues for pain, right? They're going to be having anxiety attacks out this mud. Just like we having anxiety attacks. Don't the scriptures tell us that our hearts are going to be full of that type of mourning and things when we read the book of Deuteronomy? They're going to get to feel what we feel. That's going to be comforting in these last days.
That's right.
Verse 11. And blaspheme the Yahweh of heaven.
All the retards is going to blaspheme Yahweh again. But the watchmen of the Most High God, they're going to realize this might just be that event.
Because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up.
Now we're talking about geopolitical events. The waters in the Euphrates are about to be dried up.
That's right.
Physically. Wouldn't you happen to know? They over there trying to build a dam in the Middle East so that the valley of Jehoshaphat war can happen, or the battle of Armageddon, so-called. Right? Wouldn't you know that?
Right.
And the water thereof was dried up.
So this isn't something that's naturally happened, or it's not something that's happening from on high, like magic tricks being done. The Most High is putting spirits on people to do these things over in the Middle East. Right. Why are the waters being dried up? I just want you to start from that little point again, and let's read slow.
And poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the waters thereof was dried up. Oh shit.
Fuck you.
What?
What's wrong with you, man?
She came and hit the prophet with a battle because we out here bringing the truth.
Right.
We bringing the truth out.
Right.
They don't know nothing.
She could be wandering the streets with strong drink in her.
Right.
Thousands of men running through her. But we can't even bring out the truth of the Bible. And guess what? The same cops that will gun us down unarmed, they stand by watching.
They're running across the street,
saying good, because I couldn't do it. Right? And all praises to the Most High God, because the scriptures told us that these things was going to happen. This is how you know that we on the right track. It's been a beautiful day today through the Spirit. Let me get a Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah!
Kwam Yasharallah!
Kwam Yasharallah!
Which means rise Israel, just in case you didn't know. But while we're in the middle of breaking down these prophecies, so you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans know what's coming to this place, so that you know how to guard yourself up as men, a demon has to come to try to quench the spirit, but it ain't gonna happen, right? So start over where you was at, brother. Everybody all right? Everybody lock in. Everybody lock in. If she run up, she gonna get done up.
Right.
Like it's like it's the Mac store. You see?
Verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
That what?
The way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
That the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. What's going on? All right, so that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Why? Because the scriptures say that the Most High God's gonna put hooks in these goddamn heathens' jaws and make them come to this land, right? So there could be a great war, World War III, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the Battle of Armageddon. So we're looking forward to these things. The waters need to be dried up so these things can occur, right? Let's prove it further. Go ahead.
And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out.
Like what?
Like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon.
So maybe we're talking about the plagues of Moses, right? Where frogs just are leaping all around Babylon. No. What we can surmise through the spirit and power of the Most High God is that if there's a World War III about to take place over in the Middle East, and one of the front runners of that war happens to be Russia, we look at their arsenal. They got different vehicles that just so happen to be called frogs. They got the Frog 5, they got the Frog 6, they got the Frog 7. And what these are amphibious vehicles.
Right.
And they're made so that they can traverse land and shallow bodies of water. So this is why they got to build the dams up, so that the water can be dried up, so that they can be brought through these tanks, right? Well, so they can launch missiles. This is no small thing. We got to be watching close in these last days because the demons, they out here trying to distract us because it is essential that you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans know what's happening around you. At the same time as COVID is hitting in all these various plagues, the same time as there's power outages, food shortages, there's also a war happening over in the Middle East, which is going to determine the fate of Babylon.
That's right.
Right? Keep going.
Come out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast.
Which means that the beast is going to command these vehicles to go.
Right.
Tell them to do what they do.
And out of the mouth of the false prophet, for they are the spirits of devils.
They are the spirits of devils. So we're looking forward to these prophecies occurring. Let me get that in Jeremiah 30. So while we're looking for the comfort, of the Most High God, and when we're looking for judgment to occur, we have to know that it's got to get worse before it gets better.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 5.
Hey, let me get a bottle, man.
30 and 5. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling.
We telling you about the trembling that has to take place before we get to celebrate, right? Before we get to run that victory lap. We know that if the good is coming, the bad has to come first, right? So we talking about plagues, we talking about waters being dried up, we talking about blackouts, food shortages, right?
Of fear and not peace.
That's not peace, that's fear, that's trembling.
Ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail with child.
So ask if a man travails with child, right? This is something that you need to ask yourself. It's a rhetorical question, right?
Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins?
If not, why do I see every man with his hand on his loins?
As a woman in travail.
As a woman in travail, as if she's giving birth.
And all the faces are turned into plainness. Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it.
So this day that's coming is so great that none's like it, because in the midst of the starvation, the plagues, the blackouts, people gonna be hot. You gotta realize when there's a blackout and it's heat waves, people gonna be hot. Our nerves is gonna be bad, right? So what next can you expect? There's gonna be war going on in the Middle East. What else can you expect, right? How much worse can it get, huh? Let me get that in the book of Proverbs 16 and 2. Wow. Proverbs 16 and 2. Let's keep reading about this. And I want you to hold Sirach 39. Sirach 39 and 27, Baba Bashar. Right? What else can we expect? You blacks, Hispanics, and you Native Americans think shit is a game. You think it's a joke all the goddamn time. Watch. One day it's not going to just be us they trying to hit with bottles. It's going to be you, just a regular nigga in the streets.
Right.
So you goddamn better repent.
Right.
At least we have the comfort.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes.
See, all the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, right? The things that he fixes his mouth to say, the things that he wants to do, they are good to him, right? This is why certain ideologies like you should just do good, you should just be good, you should just be nice, they don't fly, right? Because everybody deems those things as something different, right? So there has to be something greater dictating these things.
Salakia, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established.
So the way that we separate ourselves is by committing our works to the Most High God so that we can be established and let the wicked think what they think and do what they do. Watch, because they got a role. There's a role for them just like there's a role for us.
That's right. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked.
Saying that there's a lane for the wicked, the Most High made them for himself. Just like he made us. But what was the wicked made for, right? Since we're trying to figure out what else is going to happen in these last days.
For the day of evil.
For the day of evil. Let me get that in Sirach.
Sirach 39.
Yeah, 39 and 27 through 31.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 27.
Bring it out.
All these things are for the good to the godly. And so to the sinners, they are turned into evil.
So there's things that are for evil to the sinner, and there's things that are good for the godly. And you can look at just about anything, and the good thing, the things will be used for good for the godly man, and those things will be used for evil for the sinner. Just like a good man, he's gonna want to use a screwdriver to build something, and a wicked man, he's gonna want to use a screwdriver to shank somebody up.
Right. Verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
There's spirits that are created for vengeance. We're talking about the day of vengeance coming, right?
Right.
Just like it's the acceptable year of the Lord, it's the day of vengeance. And that day, there are spirits that were created just for it.
There are spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes.
In their fury, they lay on sore strokes, meaning they'll steal on you if the Most High gives them an opportunity. Let me get 2 Ezra 15 and 14. 2 Ezra 15 and 14, and I want you to read through 19.
They are sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them.
Because that's what he made him for. The white man was made to be the sword and the whip, the chastising tool that he was made to be.
Right.
Right? Wasn't he given the gift to rule by the sword?
Right.
When you go into the scriptures about Esau.
That's right.
Right? He was made for the day of evil. He is a vessel of wrath fitted to destruction, pursuant to the book of Romans chapter 9. Right? But we sleeping on these things. Is that it on that?
That's it.
All right, let me get Isaiah 13 and 11.
The book of 2 Esdras, chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
So it's going to be woe to the world and them that dwell in. This time is going to be so great that none is like it, right? So it's woe to the entire world, unless the Most High God is with you, and the Most High God is only going to be with you if you keep in his law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
That's right.
For the sword and their destruction on Salakia, for their sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men.
This is talking about civil warfare now.
And invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
So in them last days, man, you're not going to be able to just do whatever you want. Cities is going to be overran. People are going to be doing whatever they want to do. It's going to be warlords out here. You think them cartels are just going to stop selling drugs because the world is coming to a screeching halt economically? Hell no. They got military forces. They're going to be able to do whatever they want to do. What they want to do is going to stand in the course of their actions. The Most High God has made every man for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil.
That's right.
This is not a game, man. These things, people are being set up to fall. People are being set up to rule over you. People are being set up to come killing other people. It's all happening in front of our eyes, and we so goddamn ignorant, thinking we living under some kind of rainbow coalition that we sleeping on these prophecies.
God.
For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled.
Because of their pride, these cities shall be troubled. It's because of their pride that Esau's kingdom is about to come to the end. Is about to come to.
The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Men shall be afraid. Every man's hands on his loins as if he's a woman in travail with child. Right? So these little niggas that you sisters is running around with, dressed to the nines and all that, that do their nails at the same shop as you. And you only with them because they allow you to walk around like the biggest hoe you want to be. They're going to be dead in these last days.
God.
Then ain't nobody going to be protecting you. Somebody brought that out in Isaiah. We're going to go into it again. But they're not gonna be around. I mean, they're already not around to protect you, right? Any half a man can walk up and smack you when you with this metrosexual that's been exalted to the highest of the clouds in these last days in America, right? But these men are gonna die in these last days, the scripture said. Go ahead.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor.
Men ain't gonna have pity on their neighbors. The only reason you can run around safe with that pretty boy is not because of him, right? It's definitely not that Louis belt that's holding his pants up right above that belly button shirt he's wearing. It's because there's a police force. There ain't gonna be no police force in these last days.
That's right.
But guess what? We're gonna be comforted because there ain't no police force for us blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
You saw that bitch run up and hit this brother with a bottle and didn't nothing get done about it. If we wanted, we could have handled it. Now the police force is gonna be shut down in these last days. We know how to function. Matter of fact, that's what we call a function.
Hey, why didn't you say the white people too, dog?
What you mean?
You said every other race but white people.
What about white people? White people's gonna die.
That's
White people are gonna die. I mean, the sun's gonna take part in it for
you
one.
preaching hate, dog.
You goddamn
you
right
got
I'm
the
preaching hate.
Bible in your hand.
You goddamn right I'm preaching. There's no hate in the Bible. Let me ask you this. I'll be nice
I
to
know
you.
the Bible better than you do.
Come back real quick. Come back real quick. Don't run. Don't run.
Dog, I ain't got time for your nonsense.
You ain't got time. This guy's a hoe. He's a hoe. Bring that out.
This is Romans chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Get Malachi 1:4. Read that again.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Is there hate in the Bible? Again.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
And lo and behold, the coincidence or the blessing from the Most High is we get a gift of a scrawny cracker to come up here complaining about hate coming out of the Bible when it's right in the Bible. You come from the lineage of Esau. God hates you.
That's right.
He built you for hate. You built this kingdom on hate.
That's right.
Yes, he's back. Show me all love for everybody in the Bible.
My family didn't fuck you.
You benefit off of the slave trade. Come here.
All the parties.
Hey, come here, ho. Come here, ho. Come here, ho. Come
We
here.
all the same,
answer
bro.
some
We all
questions.
feed the same.
Come answer some
God
questions.
created us
Do you
all
walk a dog on a chain or does he eat at the table with you? Do you walk a dog on a chain or does he eat at the table with you? Dogs bleed the same too.
That's right.
Dogs bleed the same too. Oh, but y'all f- dogs. But y'all have sex with dogs.
Bring it out.
That's a fact.
You was born from a dog. Read that again. Jacob if I love, but Esau if I hate it.
This is Romans chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
And thus I hate Esau too. Because all he did was ever hate me. Even when we tried to show him mercy and humility, he showed a perpetual hatred towards his brother Jacob. And the Most High God is going to destroy him for it. At the head, with the hand of his people Israel, through the spirit and power of the Most High God.
Man, you guys are foolish.
You're a hoe. You're a hoe because you don't stand up here like a man and speak for yourself. That's why you ride your little bike all the way over there and ask your questions. Read that.
Why would you say that?
Malachi 1.
In the riots in
The book of
California.
Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished.
Esau was impoverished, so what's going to happen next after he's
I'm an
impoverished?
honorable man.
No, you're not.
I stood up.
You're a hoe because there's a man talking to you and you won't even speak to him. What's honorable about that? What's honorable about that?
But we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw
The
down.
Most High God's going to throw this place down and we're going to throw down on his behalf. This is another way you know that the Most High is a black man because he's the only God that I ever heard of that know how to throw down.
That's right.
You see?
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
Isaiah 13 and 11, folks.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 11.
Bring it out.
I will punish the world for their evil.
So the world's about to be punished for its evil.
That's
And I'll be
right.
goddamned if I don't come out and speak about it like the book tell me to do, right? We out here to tell the world they're going to be punished for their evil.
That's right.
Bring it
Mainly
out.
Jacob, so that they don't die right along with it. Let me get Amos 9 and 10. Actually start at verse 9.
The book of Amos chapter 9 and verse 9.
Bring it out.
For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel.
So while the world's being punished, God's going to be sifting the house of Israel, right? But the Israelites that don't want to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments and want to keep kissing this white man's ass and all these other nations that have done nothing but oppress us, what's going to happen to them?
I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
So that same sword that's coming for this white man you love so goddamn much, that sword's gonna fall on you too. And so we trying to warn you, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Your neighbor being your fellow black, Hispanic, Native American, or Israelite scattered to the four corners of the earth, so that the sword don't fall down on you. What's Borat smiling at in that car over there? He looking like he touching something you ain't supposed to touch.
Right.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 19. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O power.
The wicked gonna be slain. See, little cowards like him, he wouldn't mock us to our face.
Right.
He gonna stay in that car and drive by mock us.
Right.
He got a looser pussy than his mom,
Right.
and it's on his face.
Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men, for they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain.
They speak against us wickedly, and they take the Most High God's name in vain.
That's right.
Do not I hate them, O Yahweh, that hate thee?
Yes, the answer is yes. The Most High God Yahweh, who created the heavens and the earth, he hates those that hate him. Whether it's the sodomite of the children of Israel, or it's the wise man out of Teman, it's simple.
That's right.
So what we got to do is get right, or we're going to get left. Simple principles, right?
And am I not grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred.
The Most High God hates them with perfect hatred.